Lather Talk, a wet shaving podcast. I'm your host, John, aka Latherhog, and with me is my co-host, Gerard.
Hello, what's up, everyone?
And our special guests for today's episode are Melody and Zach, the folks behind Moon Soaps. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight.
Hi.
Thank you.
To kick things off, though, I sure would love to hear how you first got into soap making. Like, how did Moon Soaps come about? And we can answer this separately too, but like, obviously, how did you get into making shave soap?
So I started making cold process soap when my sister-in-law, Mika, who's a pastry chef, talked me into making soap in her kitchen. And that was like 13 years ago?
2008.
Yeah, 2008. So,
Well, probably 2007. I think you got officially launched
Like,
the business in 2008.
Yeah. So I had like a newborn baby, and we both had kids that are only 6 months apart, and we're like, let's try making soap. And she hated it. She was terrified of the chemicals and the whole, I mean, we looked like we were cooking meth, you know, like we're in the hazmat outfit and everything. And then I loved it. So I just took it on, and it was before you could go on YouTube and look at a whole bunch of different videos and stuff of how to make soap. It was so really basic soap making skills out of a book. And so I got every book I could possibly get on soap making. And I still didn't like the recipes, so Zach and I came up with the recipes on our own. So the cold process soap, the bar soap, that way. And then fast forward years from then.
Well, you know, it was I think originally kind of a thing that I think she wanted to kind of pursue that with you.
Yeah.
Mika, the
Yeah.
sister-in-law. But being that she was a pastry chef, it's kind of interesting when you make soap. You know, you can't really taste it and sample it as you go. It's a very, very different process. So I think it kind of put a wall up for her. But Melody had, never really had that background, so I think she took to it a lot easier.
It like became my obsession. I'm like, I'm going to conquer how to make badass soap. And so I just tried to do it as much as I can. And there was a lot of bad failed attempts at making soap.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like those old forums you could go on, and so I talked to a couple of really cool indie soap makers. One of them was Erin from Haunt Soaps, so she's not around anymore. And there's other soap makers like Villainous Soapery. She makes really cool soap, so you kind of pull inspiration from other soap makers too. But at the time, I mean, like what I said, pretty much it was very basic recipes out on the market, essential oils, and it was nothing like how it is now, like where you can get a lot of great information off YouTube. So then Zach decided to make shave soap one day.
Yeah, if you want to get into the shave part of it, I was really looking for something else. I had been using Barbasol and using the cartridge razors, and just my face getting torn up every time I shaved, and I hated it.
You had a lot of ingrown hairs.
Exactly.
It was bad.
I was looking for something new, and I tried the that Cremo, and that was like a little better. But saying, I know there are shave soaps out there. Melody, why don't you try making a shave soap? And the response was basically, hell no, do it yourself. I got no time for this.
I got
the kids and the business. I got my hands were full.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I kind of took it as a challenge, kind of I will. I will come up with a soap. So it took a lot of research. Yeah. But it's kind of cool because I'm that kind of person that once I get a topic in my head, I like to just go all in on it and obsess over it and really figure something out. Yeah. So this became kind of a cool project for me to figure out. And in my research, I realized really the soaps that people were craziest about were the tallow-based soaps. So I kind of figured out which ones were popular, and I ordered a few things here and there, and just kind of waded in, and decided that tallow was going to be the way. So I did have it in there, being that I'm a butcher. I've been a butcher since when did I start? 1994. So I've had it for quite a while. I had access to the tallow. And
well, you had to render your own tallow. He brought home the fat, and I was like, "What are you doing? Oh my God!" And he spent all day rendering down fat. Our kitchen was all steamy and stuff. I was like, "What are you making?" But I mean, it turned out to be good. So then we did our first craft fair, and we had made Old School, and it was supposed to be just kind of like, we're going to do one shave soap, that's it, and we'll just kind of sell one shave soap. So that's why it's called Old School, is because he loved the name, and because he just wanted to bring back that traditional shaving.
I really thought it was going to be we're going to just offer one shave soap, and that was something just to kind of bring some more guys to the website, and a lot of there, getting on the bar soaps, the lotions, the scrubs, all the stuff that she was doing, and it just kind of took off. I mean, like I said, we did that craft fair, and people just really beelined to that shave soap.
It was a trip.
Yeah, we really were surprised by how much attention it got and the excitement. So that kind of made us reassess the situation a little bit.
Yeah. I'll say he's really he's not a product guy. Like some guys doesn't have any hair. So, but he doesn't like grooming products a lot. He's not like a guy that is really into that kind of stuff, or even cologne. I think he had a cologne and he ended up throwing it out after 5 years because it just went bad. Because he doesn't do that kind of stuff. So, it was really, really shocking when he was like into shaving. So he's buying from different companies and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, great. Now you know where I'm coming from, because I'm always buying soaps and products and skincare. So now you can kind of see my obsession with it, and so it kind of became into something like that,
You start hearing a review on something, and maybe you get 10 people online saying, "Oh, this is the greatest," and then you get it, and maybe it just doesn't work for you. So I was kind of still trying to find my way. Sterling was a company that definitely everybody was raving about, and I got Sterling. I go, man, this stuff's, I would love to make something just half as good as this. And so that was kind of what we were looking at. You got to kind of sample stuff to figure out what's out there, and the stuff that people are really excited about. What are the qualities of it that make it so good? So it's just a lot of research.
Yeah, and different oils. Like, okay, well, let's add some mango butter into it. Let's add shea butter. Like, okay, let's up this and lower that, and then I mean, it can really change a soap. A
lot of tinkering.
Yeah. That's probably why we have so many different bases. It's not because one base is now better than the other one. It's just more of like, let's try this, and then, oh, well, that's really good. Let's go with that one then. And we always kind of want to up the ante with new stuff.
Yeah. Well, our second soap was Havana, and I think that'd be a good example. I thought because it was a more tropical scent, it makes sense to bring in some more tropical oils, right? So we made sure we kept the mango oil, but we added palm, we added coconuts, we added aloe to that one, just to give it a little bit different vibe. Just something that seemed like that would fit the idea of that soap more. And that was the reason why that base is different. And, perhaps we'll use that again for something else, but, I kind of like it if there's a way to kind of reinvent that product and just focus in on that one specific soap.
And Melody, I think we might have talked about this a little bit as far as like what was the genesis of each different formula. But that could you guys remind me for Amarettos, that's your cream base. Kind of what was some of like the behind the scenes? Like what were you thinking of when you were tinkering the formula for that release?
Well, it was like, let's come up with a cream. So what it is just a different.
A cream just for the sake of doing a cream.
Yeah.
There really was no. It was like, hey. Let's try it.
Let's try and make a
see how it goes.
And also, it's kind of good for women too, to be honest. Like, I mean, I use it on my legs, So we just kind of wanted to experiment, and Zach wanted to try because he had liked Cella, right? It was good.
I actually liked the performance of Cella, but I never really cared for the scent so much. I could definitely appreciate that it was almond, and in Italian shaving, almond's kind of a big deal. So that was kind of the direction we were going in that one. So once again, in the formula, we stepped up the almond oil. Yeah, the packaging definitely. We directed it, to make it a very Italian-looking product.
We always kind of design our labels together. So we kind of take a concept of, okay, well, what's the smell of it? Kind of like Sorrento. Like, okay, well, what do you picture when you smell this soap? It's like, okay, well, I picture going to Italy, like on the coast, and like kind of a salty, aquatic, the citrus cuts through it. So that's where we kind of come with, okay, well then the label needs to portray that and go along with the concept of the scent too. So it's like the whole picture of the product needs to be all coherent with each other. So when you can look at a label, you can kind of feel what the scent's going to look like smell like.
Yeah. And as far as Sorrento goes, that town is kind of famous for its handmade pottery as well as the Amalfi lemons. So, the scent obviously fits, but I wanted the look to have that real kind of handcrafted, old world look, which, some people have actually said, well, it's actually a beautiful sunny place. It should be a brighter, more colorful label. That's not really what I was.
We tried to do that. We designed it though. We designed one kind of like that. We did a white and blue label, and it was like this.
White, yellow.
It was yellow and stuff, and it just did not go. I was like, this is not.
It wasn't us.
And we wanted that each tub of soap, if you put them all together, they all kind of are coherent with each other. So they all kind of go with each other.
Yeah, nothing stands out. It doesn't fit in the in the lineup.
Because it kind of has a vintage label kind of look to our stuff, like kind of an old.
That's when I actually spent a lot of time on that label.
We did it 3 times.
Well, besides that, once we got to the final version, I broke that down to every, there's little dots that go around the outside. Every one of those dots is not perfect. I manually tweaked every single one. Bumping them, making them a little, because I wanted it to have. You're not going to notice it just looking at it, but it has a real, handmade feel, and that's how you do that. Really spend some time making some of those lines not perfect. So like something on a computer, everything comes out perfect. Well, you got to start bumping things around and make it not perfect.
You want it to look like an antique, kind of like
the hands created it.
Yeah.
Was there a particular decade? I feel like I might have come across that on the website, like packaging, right, from either like the 20s or 30s. Does that sound about right? Like, is there a decade that you kind of keyed in on?
His dad collects old coffee cans in his kitchen, and he has 200 coffee cans. So they're really cool vintage coffee cans.
Most of those are from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I think what you might be talking about is Union. It's kind of funny, being that that's kind of our barbershop scent. A lot of companies have a barbershop, and they just kind of call it, it's the nostalgic barbershop scent. And I was always kind of mystified by that. Okay, what exactly are we celebrating here? Like, what is the barbershop scent? Like, if I could go back to 1957, what would the product be that I was going to use?
We kind of work on it together, because he'll come up with an idea, and then I'll shoot it down, and then he'll come up with another idea, and then I'll come up with an idea, and then we'll kind of merge them together, So, for that one, he was thinking about doing an Americana, hot rod kind of thing, and I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with our line,
It was going to look real cool. Let me tell you.
So that's why I'm like, let's come up with something that sounds cool, kind of Americana. And so he's been a Union member for 20 years, and so Union is kind of a part of of our whole existence of making tallow and all of that. So we wanted to kind of represent that a little bit. So that's why it's called named Union.
And from the 50s, that would be totally a product name that you hear. It's Union Coffee or whatever, you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's another thing.
Kind of like these names that don't even really mean anything. They just kind of tack a name on there. Here's your artwork. There you go.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a fun one to do.
Yeah. I think our hardest label to make was Sorrento, though. That was intense.
That took some negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been married for 21 years, or together 21 years and married 16 years. So we are just kind of we know everything about each other, and just how to work together.
It mean, it really sounds like a collaborative process. So I'm kind of glad that we have both of you guys on to be able to kind of share how that goes. I'm always really curious on the scent side of things, right? So you mentioned like someone comes up with the idea, and through kind of bouncing back and forth, you kind of refine it, combine some ideas, sometimes go back to the drawing board. But at what point, and this could be different from every soap, so feel free to key in on one, but like Sorrento, right? Did the scent come first? Did the name come first? What's usually, where in the process does that happen?
I think it was the scent came first, and then we were like, okay, like I said, like what do you feel when you smell this? And then we were like, well, we have, citrus, yuzu, pineapple, like we could do a tropical kind of thing, but it's not really a tropical scent. It's more of like an oceany, kind of lemony kind of thing.
Yeah, and then once you get the concept, then you kind of go back and we refined the scent more. We kind of shifted things around. We brought more of that grapefruit scent in, because that's really common in that area. Yeah, bergamot.
And so we just kind of do a little final tweak to it. But yeah, like the label has to like represent the scent profile of like how it smells.
Yeah, and we've kind of just established that everything we do needs to have a little bit of a vintage feel to it, without without totally looking old, but that's just kind of the concept we've settled on, and it's working pretty well for us, I think.
Yeah, I really love that aesthetic of like the old vintagey kind of like, even going back even to the Victorian era, all the way to like the 50s, kind of pulling those ideas. And
yeah, and even when I came up with your logo, I remember I kind of drew something out that had a lot of filigree on it, and Melody saw it. Oh
yes, I love that stuff. Like
that's it.
Yeah, I love the damask and all that kind of like kind of girly, but I can't make it too girly, because now it's like most of our products are going towards men more. So, but like that's why I like a lot of the bar soap. I just kind of experiment with different kind of scents that are both men and women like. Even though like scents is such like a subjective kind of thing, like guys will totally go for sweet stuff. Like I think we're kind of leaving that stereotypical guy thing of like, oh yeah, it's going to be tobacco, and that's it, and whiskey.
Yeah, I'll tell you, in this hobby, I know, like, I can tell you, like, many people who are just definitely like, I just like sweet scents. Like, if it smells like candy, like I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I know women who like some of the more masculine scents.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because, like, with women's stuff, there's not that much selection for women's shaving products out there. I feel like a lot of it, they want you to smell like a teenager. Like, it's not. So hopefully, we can kind of start making maybe some women's shaving products.
It's kind of a no-brainer that getting more women into traditional shaving. Like, what are your thoughts on growing the female base there, or even how that might change Moon Soaps in the near future?
I would love to do like a women's, like almost whipped up kind of shaving cream, and I've looked into that. Like a lot of these places, like if you look at women's shaving products, it's all done with a base of like chemicals. It's like you get this big block of soap, melt it down, you whip it up, and you have shaving cream. I won't do that. So we make everything from scratch. And so I want to find something that can be convenient for women to shave half of your body with, but also I think women are also whipping up, kind of their own, like doing a traditional wet shaving like what men do in a bowl and everything. So
yeah, I kind of feel like the product we wanted to explore would be a brushless cream that you can just rub on, but we have
convenience.
Yeah, because it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of women out there that are willing to invest that amount of time to actually whip lather. That's as much as we need. That's a pretty big investment of time.
Yeah.
We're kind of on the fence still. We're kind of just feeling it out and looking around, just seeing what the options are.
Like to, that's why like amaretto is actually a really good one for women. Like you could actually put that straight on your legs, you know, and shave with it too. With a little bit of water and you're good to go, you know. So that's what I'm looking at, more of a cream for the women stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's logistically different in that guys can shave in the shower, they can shave in the sink, but then women usually have to, for stability, probably should be sitting down, right?
Yeah.
at the very least.
Well, and then you're bringing the last bowl possibly in there. I mean, you'd have to get a plastic bowl and you wouldn't, you know, shave it that way. But I think women are definitely using more. They're getting rid of the like disposable shaving razors, the plastic razors, and going towards, you know, like what the guys have been doing.
Right.
And you save so much more money, like, than having to spend on Venus razors that cost a fortune. And within 2 uses, you got to throw it out, you know. So,
Right.
But it seems like women are more open to it for environmental reasons too. So.
I'm sure we're going to see more razors, kind of like the leaf razor,
Yeah.
where you're able to put your own blades in it, but it still flexes.
You kind of need that too. I mean, you can use like a safety razor, but it's hard. I've tried it several times, and it's hard to do for me. But I know a lot of women that do it too. My sister-in-law. Because like we do all the label design, we render our tallow, we make the soap, you know, we package everything. I mean, it's like from start to finish, it's on us. So to do like a short run of something, probably isn't ever going to happen. So when we like decide to put a soap in with the other, you know, kind of with our whole catalog of soaps, I guess we call it, it has to really be something that we really love and that we feel very confident about it. I'm not going to just make something and throw it out there because I want to keep up with all the other soap makers that are throwing soap out there.
And you can tell we've been at this we're doing shave stuff for like 4 years, and you're only on number 5.
Yeah.
Soap number 5. We move kind of slow. You know,
I'm a perfectionist.
I work full time on another job. Plus, I have I used to have a side business, but side business has kind of gone away now. It seems like all my spare time is going to Moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, we've got a lot going on, and we're not going to release anything just to release something.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely has to meet a standard for us.
But we're definitely not a hobbyist. I would not consider us a hobbyist company where we both work full time and then we have this little fun thing we do. I look at it as a business. It's a job, and so I take it really seriously. So when like somebody emails me a question, I get back to them as soon as possible. And I'm like the communication with my customers and the feel of like, hey, I'm like, you know, a friend to you. Like, you can tell me what your questions are, and like if you want to like ask me a whole bunch of stuff, go for it, you know. So that's what I really love about this business, honestly, is our customers. And when I get an email saying, oh my God, I love your soap, it's so awesome, like, you know, I'm so glad I found you guys. I mean, that makes it all worth it, you know, like it makes it like me just love what I'm doing.
Who would have thought that soap would be able to connect so many people?
It's true, you know.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I'm like, some people, you know, like are into cars. Some people are into like baseball cards, sports memorabilia, and somehow we're into soap.
I never saw it coming.
I was into soap and then he got into it. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. Was I got obsessed with it. It was like totally, I mean, I would always buy products, like I said, like, but even back to when I was little, I would go into Bath and Body stores and I would just buy all like different bath things, like bubble baths and stuff. And even back then I was like, you know, this is amazing. And I have an art major, so I'm an art major and I have a degree in interior design, and I hadn't seen some of my friends since college, and then they found out this is what I'm doing, and they're like, oh my God, it's so perfect for you. Like, that's so you, Melody. I'm like, oh, great.
And you know, and it's funny, like, you know, I think right now, and I don't know if it's just me, and I don't know why, but I feel like amongst even a lot of the other shaving companies, bar soaps are becoming a thing. And I'm just like, why not? I guess. You know.
Well, I mean, I would say even in the last like 4 months, people are buying a lot more of the cold process soaps because I think, you know, like you buy Dove soap or those kind of bars, they're going to strip the crap out of your skin. I mean, a bar soap should never make your skin feel tight or dry. You should be able to take a shower and not even need to put on lotion, really. So if your skin is getting that stripped, that's really bad because it's detergent is what you're putting on your skin. And I think the other thing, what's great about cold process soap is you have such a huge array of different scents you can get. Where if you go to the grocery store, it's like, you know, or you go to the health food store, it's like lavender, you know, rosemary is like kind of boring. So I have seen like a lot more guys will buy like a tub of shave soap and then like a bar soap too.
And you know, it's funny you brought up the health food store. That might be something you want to point out.
Oh, yeah.
From day one, being that we live in the Santa Cruz area, you know, you've got all these health food stores and all these people making soap in this area, and it's all revolves around it being organic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's organic. Well, that was never Melody's concern to make it organic. She wanted to make good.
Good soap.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we source organic things here and there where we can, and
like palm oil.
but it was never going to be, oh, it's made with essential oil. You know, if Melody finds a fragrance that she likes, she's going to use it.
Yeah.
And people responded really well to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of right off the bat kind of established who our clientele was. We knew it wasn't going to be the people hanging out at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
That's just not who we're targeting.
I think that was kind of like when people wanted me to get into grocery stores when I was first starting out, and I got into a couple grocery stores, but it was like, this isn't really my clientele of like, I want lavender. I mean, my lavender bar soap is pure essential oil, but I don't want to be stuck in that box of just doing that kind of stuff. I wanted you to get a bar soap and go, oh my God, this smells so good and it makes my skin feel great. And it's $7. Like, that's the thing. Like, you know, you can make someone like love your products by just making good products, but it's also not going to like make them go broke. Like, it's $7 or, you know, $20 for a tub of soap. So I feel like people work really hard for their money, a lot of our customers, and I'm not going to just sell them like a $13 bar of soap.
Yeah, actually, one thing, because we're talking about community response too, right? And just how crazy we bond over our grooming products. But I'm curious from both your ends, kind of like the recent buzz, especially amongst some of my colleagues on YouTube who are really loving Moon soaps. Right now, at the time of the recording, it is unofficially Moon Soaps Week. Kind of spearheaded by Ken from Shave 326. Shout out to my boy Ken. But I'm just curious from your end, observing this kind of like, you know, like the eyes are definitely on you guys. Like how's that been?
It's been great. Like
Cool.
I mean, it is making us like, he'll come in and be like, oh my God, look at what so-and-so just posted on Instagram. We're like, oh my God, it's so great. Like, we would be like just sitting talking about different things, and then a ping will come up on our phones and we're like, oh, someone just posted a video, and like we watch it and they're like, oh, I love this stuff, or someone's live and then we watch it. And just to be able to see people love your products and be stoked about it and excited about it, it makes it all amazing.
It's
like
really cool.
It's really, I mean, I can't even like express how like thankful we are for it. Like, it makes us like really love what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm seeing, especially this week, a lot of the brushes that I've made coming up on these photos and videos. And to see people, you know, the smile on the face when they're holding it up.
Yeah.
And, you know, damn, that's really cool.
Or these beautiful
I'm
photos.
just so stoked
you know?
that people enjoy what I make.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's not about money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I always need to be making things. And Melody can attest to this. If there's ever a day that I'm just stuck inside with nothing to do, I become miserable to be around. I need projects.
Yeah.
I need to have my hands on something.
Yeah.
So this is a great outlet, and I love that people are, you know, appreciating the stuff that I'm making. It makes me want to make more.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of shocking, to be honest, like how because I never thought that would really happen. You know, I mean, I guess you did, but it's like not to this extent of like, oh, let's make a moon week, and we're like, oh my god, you know. So like the next step, they want T-shirts, so we own a silk screen press in our garage, and so it's like, okay, well maybe we can make some cool T-shirts, you know.
Right. I mean, it's a good problem to have. I mean, because of this growth of the business, and I'm just wondering too, because of more eyes on you. And granted, you might be right in the middle of this, but have you seen an uptick in sales too to reflect kind of this this surge of interest?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like it's wild because I hate to say it, but once COVID came around, like within like a week, it was like our online sales went really high, and I think it's because guys are home a lot more and they're on Instagram more too.
Yeah, when we started hearing all these people are losing their jobs, being laid off.
And we're like, oh god,
we're like, oh, this is gonna kill all our wholesale accounts.
Yeah.
No, things have like tripled.
Yeah,
it's wild.
So it's really good, you know. So we're really thankful.
Yeah, we're in a position now where we're kind of just holding on, you know. Like today's a great example. I thought I was going to be able to turn some brushes today, and I said, nope, we're out of this, and this.
I'm like, you're in here helping me.
You know, we got a lot of work to do, and not a lot of time to do it. So.
He likes to do the brushes. I mean, that's like what he likes to kind of. He's been going outside in the backyard, and we have a Jack Russell Terrier, so she's out there with him, and he's underneath our maple tree making brushes. Like that's what it is.
I was really looking forward to.
Yeah.
It was really hot here too. So
yeah, it was
really
hot
nice
today.
to
Weird
that.
weather. Yeah.
Instead, I was in the shop making balms and making soap.
Yeah. Good.
I know it's just kind of weird. My identity has changed quite a few times. You know, 20 years ago, I was all about playing music and being on stage and doing that. And then you have kids, and that kind of changes things. And I started working from home and making posters. That was a great way to stay connected with bands and all the contacts I've made over the years, relationships alive, promoters and stuff. And then even that kind of gets pushed out of the way a little bit. Soaps take over.
Yep.
So.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
We're now.
What instrument did you play in your band days?
I was a bass player. I played a little bit of guitar here and there, but
went on 9 national tours. This was before he met me, so he got it all out of his system. So I didn't have to deal with it. And it was.
Well, I played a little bit after we were together, but nothing serious. Mostly just keeping it in the garage and just having a good time.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but if you want to shift gears a little bit, I did get some listener questions from Instagram. So I got one question here from listener Mohammed Khalifa, and he asked, any plans for aftershave splashes?
Okay, so with the aftershave splash, the reason why we haven't done them is, because there's a lot of licensing that has to go in, like there's a lot of protocols that you have to do in place. The second thing is that aftershaves, you've heard this so many times, I'm sure, about the skin. It's alcohol for your face. It's not really good for your skin. And it's kind of an older, I hate to say it, but an archaic system of skincare. And so that's why I lean towards the balms. But we could do something kind of more of like, almost, I don't know if you know what an essence is, like women use those for their skin. It's not where it's an astringent, like a toner. It's more of something that is giving to your skin instead of taking away from it. So some kind of liquid, something like that.
Plus, Melody's been making lotions for so long.
Yeah.
It was really kind of a no-brainer for us to get into the balms. I mean, basically we took a recipe that she kind of already had and just started tweaking it.
We tweaked it a lot, though.
Thinned it down a little more, added some stuff to it, took a few things out. But I mean, it was kind of already there for us. Mm-hmm. So it just, we kind of decided to cut out some of the hassle in our lives and just kind of go that route. Shipping the alcohol is kind of a pain in the neck. There's just a lot of hassle that was going to go with it. It's not that it's impossible. It just, with so many other things going on and being there's only the two of us here with so many things happening, it just seemed like one of those things. Like we're definitely not going to worry about this panel. Someday, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to rule it out. I just.
But yeah, there's been a lot of interest for sure.
There has.
A lot of people have contacted us about it.
I think a lot of people like the scents, so of course they want it on their skin longer. You know, I've had people contact for other things too with it, but yeah, what I would be leaning towards is something that's alcohol free. But then you don't get that sting, that burn that some of the guys really like, you know. So that's what I would want to do, is something that's more like nourishing for your skin, that you're going to actually get something out of it more too.
Moving on, this question, so I have two questions, but the first one's more for Melody. This is from Lather Me Whiskers, a pirate talking wet shaver. He asks, are you planning on making a Tradewinds shave soap? Please make it a pirate soap.
Oh my God, he's so funny. He already emailed me about this too. So he is an awesome guy. He's like very cool man. So I'm trying to talk Zach into it. But what's interesting is, like, this is the first real bar soap that I made that I've gotten emails of guys wanting it in shave soap. So we will. I mean, I think it could make a really cool label if you did it kind of piratey, kind of really neat, you know? I'm sure he would like that too, you know?
We have been talking more about it. Once again, we haven't ruled that one out. We've got a couple other things that we are working on right now for the next soap. So yeah, Tradewinds wasn't really in the plan, but like, this last week, a lot of, I bet you've had 6-7 people contact you or mention it somewhere.
Mention like wanting it in a shape soap. I mean, I've been making Tradewinds for a long time, not far, so I just changed the look of it, but that scent has been around for a while now.
Also, it's great to hear that there's been, like, obviously besides Lather Me Whiskers, other people were interested in it. His second question is for you, Zach. When will your brushes sport a maker's coin?
We've had
so funny. Oh my
we've had some talks about this. Melody has been wanting me to do that as well, and the reason why I haven't is it's just an extra step. It's just a little bit extra hassle, but yeah, she and Paul have kind of convinced me it's time to do it. Yeah. So I'm doing some research now, trying to figure out where I'm going to get these from, what look we want. Yeah. Also, what kind of graphic we want on this.
Yeah, so we want our logo, but our logo is not a circle.
Yeah, our logo is quite stretched out, so we have to change some things around. Also, I kind of want to have something on there that just kind of implies that I did it. So I've got some ideas, but I'm not there yet. So.
Okay, so it might be up in the air whether it's like a Moon Soaps coin versus a separate entity for the brush turning side.
Well, yeah, and something I thought about just recently is on all my rock posters, I have a specific Kent emblem that's down in the bottom corner. And I was thinking if I could put that on with the logo somehow, or maybe we do a new logo that would kind of be more circular. I really don't know, but these are some of the thoughts that are going through my head right now. Figuring out what type of material we want it to be.
I mean, I like a coin. I think it looks cool on the bottom of shave brushes.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, the besides just like looking good, it's just a way of identifying like who made what. Some people, like have like, not everyone does it. Some people have just like a signature shape that they'll go with, or something else to separate them. But I mean, it's the easiest way of just kind of like identifying, that's one of Zach's brushes.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good idea.
So basically you guys win. We're going to do it.
Awesome. I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear that. Oh, and the last question I have here is actually also brush related. This is from listener Wise One. He asked, why do you only offer Plisson type synthetic knots with your brushes and only 24 millimeters?
Well, I do 26s also. And occasionally I'll do a 30, but mostly 24s and 26s is what I like to stick with. And I just really like those synthetic brushes. They are cruelty-free, which is something that Melody and I have kind of talked about. Even though they claim that the badger is a pest and it's doing everyone a favor to kill it and take its fur out. I don't know that I fully believe that. These knots work great. And if for some reason, you really wanted, to put a boar or a badger in it,
You totally could.
give us a ring. We can work something out.
Well, I know we've been talking for a while now, so to kind of head in the direction of winding things down, you guys, you can each answer separately since I feel like you might have differing answers. But where do you see Moon Soaps in the next few years?
Well, I think we would really like to be more of a global aspect of going, like maybe in the UK, a distributor. We've been kind of figuring out that because I've gotten emails from people wanting to buy our stuff, but the shipping is so much. So hopefully finding a distributor in the UK and kind of.
And right now we have had a lot of people contact us about distribution, but right now we're kind of holding back just because the COVID thing is really screwing up our system on our end.
Yeah.
It is tough getting some of these supplies, packaging. Sometimes you're months out, so we don't want to commit to anything we can't deliver on. So really,
we've never not delivered. So
yes, but I could see problems coming up. We got another 3 or 4 distributors saying, I need 40 of this, 50 of this. It could be a problem because sometimes these bottles took us a couple of months to get our last delivery of bottles.
Yeah, that's why we just did an unscented balm, and we had to pull that release back because the balm was.
We couldn't get any.
We couldn't get in the pump.
We were out. We figured we needed to put those resources somewhere else.
But I mean, I think the other thing with that is that I have 2 kids and that I have to homeschool during this COVID thing. So having to expand in the next 6 months is going to be probably not happening with that.
This next semester is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Just to see how we do.
Yeah. So
I have no idea how this is going to work.
You just make it work.
Yeah, but I mean, we just may be out of a couple of things. Maybe everything's going to be fine. I really don't know.
I think everything's going to be fine.
I hope so.
I mean, any order that I've ever gotten, if it's I make it work. I make it work. You can tell we're married. It's going to be fine.
But it does suck turning down distributors. I don't like doing that. I would like to expand and just get our name out a little further.
I'd like to get some new products going. So hopefully, I mean, we're going to have a new shave soap hopefully by October. So another one. But like I said, we're not the company that just shoots them out every month. That's not going to be us. Yeah, and I mean, I'd like to just get more customers and be a part of the shave community. That's been really amazing.
That's been fun.
I mean, really fun.
Getting to meet people and learning a little bit more about people.
That is the best part of it. And there's not that many communities that are really like this, So it's really cool to kind of be a part of that.
Well, it's been our pleasure to be able to get to know you guys a little bit better. Thank you so much for answering our listener questions. I think people are just really really interested in what you guys are doing. So I do hope that the good problem that we talked about just kind of the demand and needing more space. I do hope that there's a way to keep meeting demand, to grow your business, and I just really want to wish the rest of 2020 is just an awesome year for you guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really been cool.